Okay guys, so we got spoilers, a lot of spoilers, basically damn near a whole summary of the upcoming chapter of Boruto. Of course, we don't got all the imagery and whatnot, but these summaries, it should suffice until tomorrow's chapter, and I'm excited. To be honest with you, I've only seen about like 6 panels or pages of the chapter, so I'm really kind of going in blind. So this will kind of be like a live reaction of us checking out the chapter, or what's the chapter going to be about for Boruto, the big chapter 50. We're going to be witnessing it for the first time together, kind of again like live reaction style in a way. So yeah, without further ado, people, let's talk some of that Boruto manga greatness.
I say we gonna do what we do, no matter how you move, make your move. That's how it be though.
That's right, people, I got the summary right here. It's a bit lengthy, so we're gonna go through it. We're gonna try and speed through it as quick as we can so we could talk a little bit. But I'm excited. Y'all already know Boruto manga has been absolute flames the last, I don't know, 3 years now, even though people still sleeping on it. Let's check what's about to go down. Boruto Chapter 50, Potential Value. General Summary. Scene opens with Isshiki kneeling on the ground, staring back at Boruto and company. Naruto asks Boruto where they are. Boruto replies that he doesn't know either. Naruto is taken back by this. Boruto explains that he knew the Otsutsuki could travel to other dimensions, so he assumed that he could do the same thing via karma. Plus, Isshiki can't wreak havoc on the village here. Naruto notes that Boruto seems to have inherited some aspects of his personality. Anyway, Isshiki breaks up their chat and dashes towards them head on. Naruto immediately gets in between Isshiki and Boruto. Naruto tries to swing his fist at Isshiki, but he suddenly disappeared. Sasuke then tells Naruto to look up. Isshiki has Boruto in a chokehold, floating high up in the sky. Isshiki then estimates that Boruto Otsutsuki transformation progress is a bit over 80%. Isshiki wonders about the powers that Boruto's hiding. Suddenly, Sasuke swaps out for Boruto's body in front of Isshiki. Boruto is back on the ground next to Naruto, coughing a bit. Yo, he probably got the Rona. Now at a close range, Sasuke activates Chidori. Isshiki easily grabs onto Sasuke's wrist and coolly stops it right in front of his own face. He yells at Sasuke because he's just getting in the way. Isshiki then kicks Sasuke in the hip, sending him flying off. That's not good. Sasuke lands straight into the ground, face up in a pile of rubble. Not much of a crater. Naruto tells Boruto to run away or he'll get killed. Isshiki lands back onto the ground. He taunts them by saying it would be easy for him to use space-time ninjutsu to return back to the village, but then Isshiki says that he just wants to deal with everyone at once here. It's better to get rid of everyone who's going to keep getting in the way sooner rather than later. Don't sleep on Rock Lee, he'll fuck you up. Perhaps the people in the village don't even know where Kawaki is. Anyway, Naruto then goes into a battle mode with his chakra aura, a la to that cover page that looks godlike. Scene shifts to underwater. Jigen is staring down into it, his face distorted by the ripples on the surface. Jigen is doing a recap of the same speech as in the chapters prior. Kawaki is nothing, he's empty, above all else he hates himself. There's an open hole in Kawaki's heart, etc. We see a naked Kawaki. I don't want to see a naked Kawaki, I promise you, floating down further underwater. Then Kawaki suddenly wakes up on a bench. Amado is next to him, casually smoking a cigarette, telling him not to worry because he's safe for now. Kawaki doesn't seem very convinced of that. Suddenly they get interrupted by Shikamaru receiving a telepathic message from the monitoring team. The Otsutsuki's plus Boruto's chakra have both suddenly disappeared off their radar tracking screen, followed by Naruto's and Sasuke's. Amado recaps what's transpired since Kawaki passed out. Isshiki has invaded Konoha. Kawaki is the target. They're all fighting off Isshiki right now. Kawaki looks at his palm, finally realizing that the karma has vanished without a trace. Amado recaps again the explanation about it being the Otsutsuki's backup file, something for Ishiki's reincarnation, now used on Jigen instead of Kawaki, all according to Koji's plan. Shikamaru asks, now that the karma is gone from Kawaki, Kawaki is also no longer a vessel. Shikamaru declares that Kawaki is officially a free man. Kawaki replies that he's the reason why Isshiki came to Konoha. Isshiki is trying to catch him again with karma. So what does Shikamaru mean by saying that Kawaki is a free man now? What a joke. Shikamaru concedes that it's true that Isshiki can do whatever he wants, but that's why Naruto and company went to stop him. Kawaki says that Isshiki is even more of a monster than Jigen. Amado doesn't seem phased and continues on another recap, like we need more. He says that monster is still just a monster, plus Isshiki is on borrowed time anyway due to his short remaining lifespan. Well, I don't think Naruto and Sasuke could hold him for days on end, but alright. They'll prevail as long as Isshiki can't catch Kawaki before his time runs out. Scene changes back to the battle. Naruto leaps directly at Isshiki. He has 2 Rasengan, 1 in each hand. Isshiki uses his dojutsu, and so both Rasengan seem to disappear from his palms, all while Naruto is still mid-run. Naruto then extends a huge chakra arm to grab Isshiki. I'd seen that panel. That shit looks sick. Isshiki tries to block it, but Naruto continues to make more arms and start pounding him with an onslaught of chakra fist. 20 pages have passed at this point. Boruto thinks that his dad attack is really amazing as he watches Isshiki seemingly get pummeled. As Naruto heads closer in, Isshiki disappears again. Isshiki reappears right behind Naruto and knees him straight in the back. Naruto then makes like 5 Kagebunshin to counter Isshiki and fight back with taijutsu. Naruto then notices that Sasuke is creeping up behind Isshiki, preparing to attack. Naruto then uses 2 of his huge chakra arms to grab Isshiki and keep him immobile. Yo, see, this is the difference between, I just gotta interrupt, this is the difference between getting the summaries and actually seeing the chapter. Like, this is probably gonna look 10 times better when I get the pages and feel 10 times better. So it's like a little tease until we actually get to see it in action. It's like if I'm telling you about a film and you're like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy it more when I watch the film, but thanks for your review, fam. Next, we see Sasuke charging straight at Ishiki's back with a Chidori, but then Isshiki uses his dojutsu and suddenly conjures up a few giant nested square pattern cubes. They plop onto the battlefield. Sasuke managed to jump out the way, but it seems like Naruto got pinned beneath one in the meantime. The cubes keep pounding into the ground, and we focus in on Sasuke navigating through them. I think they're doing okay for a fight so far. I mean, Sasuke sounds like he's getting his teeth kicked in, but suddenly Sasuke is on the defense. Oh boy, he's blocking Ishiki's long black pole with his sword. Whoa, pause. Sasuke's sword is stuck, cutting partly through the pole. That's when Isshiki says that he'll handle them one by one, starting with Sasuke first. Then Isshiki uses his dojutsu and shrinks down Sasuke's sword. It's too small to fit into his grip anymore. Isshiki whaps Sasuke hard across the face with his staff, hitting Sasuke face first into the ground. Isshiki then maximizes Sasuke's sword and grips it into his hand. Boruto watches on with a worried expression on his face. Just as Sasuke is trying to get back up, Isshiki says, "Farewell, Uchiha Sasuke." Boruto then suddenly starts running toward them. Scene changes back to Shikamaru. He's receiving updates from the chakra tracking team. They recap once again about how they still can't seem to locate Ishiki's chakra, plus how Naruto and company might have had used a space-time ninjutsu. That would explain why they can't trace it within Konoha. Kawaki is very surprised that Boruto is with them in the battle. Amado is still casually smoking a cigarette. He says that it is a Fuing Jutsu via karma. Jigen could use the same one. Katsuki and Sumire look very worried. Holy shit, Sumire, I forgot she existed. Isshiki is clearly out of their league, as we've kind of already known. Amado replies that it may seem like Boruto is no match for him in terms of his actual merits or capabilities, but that it's possible Boruto might have noticed something else too. He has some potential value and usefulness in a battle against Isshiki, even though he's a genin, but alright. Shikamaru and Kawaki seem confused. Scene switches back and Isshiki is about to stab Sasuke with his own sword. Wow, hate to see it. Suddenly, Boruto dives right in between them. Sasuke seems a bit angry and surprised by what he's doing. Boruto tosses something and then disappears with Sasuke. Isshiki is left at the scene in a cloud of smoke, still holding on to Sasuke's sword. Boruto and Sasuke are now at a cliff nearby. Isshiki asks Boruto in a condescending way about why he decided to do that. Does he really want to die like this? Boruto stands back up and gets kind of smug about it. He asks Isshiki why he didn't use that opportunity to just kill them both back then, especially since Isshiki stopped halfway into stabbing Sasuke to death before Boruto intervened. It seems as though Boruto expected that reaction from Isshiki because Isshiki isn't able to kill Boruto for some reason. Sasuke also seems a bit surprised by the statement. Scene changes back to Amado. He says that such a gutsy kid like Boruto might hold the key to victory in that battle after all. I'll be honest with you, based on the summary that we ran through of the chapter, it's not as big and grand as I thought it would be for a chapter 50. It seems as though the previous fight, and again, we're gonna get the full chapter and I'll get into the ins and outs once we have it or whatnot tomorrow, but it seems as though that this chapter is mainly going to kind of retread things that we've seen before, because we've already seen Naruto and Sasuke get their asses kicked at the hands of Jigen, and if he's 10 times stronger now and is full or almost full Isshiki Otsutsuki form or whatnot, then that was to be expected that they were going to get their asses kicked as well. No big revelations in this one. I think the biggest one is the whole Boruto thing, and off the top of my head I can possibly imagine maybe certain Otsutsuki aren't allowed to hit each other, or maybe Momoshiki was a particular type of Otsutsuki that wasn't like, you know, you can't put your hands on him. I mean, we've seen in the anime that they did something to, and obviously the anime might have messed things up or whatever, because if I'm not mistaken, Tonetti is technically an Otsutsuki, and we saw what Urashiki did to him, but again, the anime might have messed shit up or put the cart before the horse or whatever, so we gotta wait and see. But maybe it's something along the lines of that there's rules within the Otsutsuki that you can't kill another Otsutsuki because something will happen, and or you know, you'll get a karma mark and then you're kind of gonna get infested. We gotta wait and see. Either way, sounds crazy action packed. This sounds like one of those chapters where a summary is not gonna do it justice by any means. We need to get the full chapter. I need the full chapter to see what the hell is going down, because it sounds like Naruto and Sasuke got their asses kicked as expected. But nothing huge or, you know, any plot revealing things, which I guess is a bit of a bummer for chapter 50. But either way, we gotta wait and see until we get the full on chapter. Curious what you guys thought of this one. How do you feel about Naruto and Sasuke getting their asses kicked? Again, to be honest with you, it was to be expected. If they lost against a weaker version of this guy, what makes you think they're going to do anything better? And it seems as though there's a good reason why Boruto is actually able to even be around any of this, because technically Boruto is a little genin. You know, even if he's, let's just say, stronger than his father was in part 1, Naruto was like 10 billion worlds away by the end of Shippuden than he was in the end of part 1, and Boruto shouldn't be technically involved in any of this. But if it's something to do with the karma mark and something to do with the fact that maybe Isshiki Otsutsuki cannot kill Momoshiki's vessel, that could explain a couple of things. And your overall thoughts, again, we will get into it once we have the full chapter tomorrow. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld. And as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life. Bye. Have an awesome day. Peace in.
It's nights like this, and times like this, that I can give another hit. But I've got this inside a switch, a natural bliss. But